What's going on, y'all? So today we're gonna be talking and recapping the NFL draft. We got a lot to talk about, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Brenden, who was your biggest winner of the draft?
I mean, there's still a lot. There's so many good teams that did really good in this draft. Like surprisingly, if I had to say the best team that had a great draft, maybe New York, maybe the Patriots. They're both head to head right there. I mean, the Patriots, they drafted the best tackle in the draft, drafted the third or second best running back in the draft, and then the rest of the draft, they just got the needs they needed to get. And then the Giants, I mean, you got the best edge rusher in this draft. You got a quarterback, and then you got one of the best defensive tackles, and you got a running back too, and then you got an offensive guard later in the draft. So both those teams, I think, had one of the best drafts.
Yeah.
Personally, I think the top three teams that had the best drafts are between Cleveland, Jacksonville, and New England. Cleveland, they had a good draft, taking Mason Graham at 5. You have Myles Garrett and Mason Graham on the same D line. That should get a lot of pressure next year and establish your defense further. And the Jaguars, to me, that's my favorite. You got a receiver and a corner with one draft pick. That's elite value in my opinion. I think that alone won them the draft. But then also the Patriots, like you said, Brenden, took Will Campbell at 4. Get your solidified O-line piece, and then Henderson at 39 or 36, I believe. That was a really good pick as well.
Yep.
It was good. So I think those three teams were my top 3.
Yeah, I'm with all y'all. We pretty much all saying the same thing. But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. It's one team who won this draft, and it's the Patriots. It's the Patriots. I mean, you go out and address every need and then some. Like when I was watching this Drake May film from last year, in every instance, the pocket collapsed on him at about the 3-second mark. He had about 3.5 seconds every time. And I know a lot of quarterbacks face that same kind of type of adversity, when lining up on the line of scrimmage. But Drake May, I feel like his clock just got sped up so much faster. And actually, if you watch the film, it's more so him moving in the pocket when it collapsed, where we seen a lot of his big highlight plays. So I'm saying all that to say, to go out and get the best tackle in this draft, I think it's a phenomenal job for New England, and he wants to be there from the interviews. And then, like you said, Brenden, getting Travion Henderson. I mean, this is a guy who knows how to share reps at the running back position. That's something I feel like not a lot of running backs like to do. He shared reps with Judkins at Ohio State. And then you go get another receiver. So I feel like New England really went out and handled and did their due diligence, in my opinion. And then also, lastly, Marcus Bryant too. You go reach and get some developmental O-line depth.
And they got the best center too in the draft too, with Garrett Wilson. He's the best center in this draft in the whole thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I had totally forgot about him. Yes. I was watching his film as well. Super low pad level. You know what I mean? I don't want to say square, but like he's almost square in his blocking. He's straight up on the line of scrimmage, but his pad level is low though.
Yeah, getting the D tackle too. Joshua Farmer. I mean, he's a really good D tackle. Pair him with Christian Christian, their other D tackle. I mean, they fixed the needs they need to go after. I mean, I think New England is going to be a playoff team, maybe, depending on Drake.
That's kind of wild, though.
That's not crazy at all.
Not crazy.
Listen, if Drake May has the year he's supposed to have, that defense is set.
And you got Diggs. And you got Diggs, too.
The defense is set.
You have Diggs.
There's not a serious hole the Patriots have. So as long as they play to their expectations, I think they can go easily 10-7, 11-6. And be a stupid wild card team easily.
Yeah, I love it, bro. Because it's like y'all remember.
You look at Mike Vrabel too.
Yeah.
I have really high expectations for the Patriots next year. I'm not gonna lie.
I do too.
I think he's cooking, bro. Because it's like y'all. I feel like myself included. I feel like a lot of people forget, like, bro, the Patriots were doing everything in their power to address them receiver needs, bro. They tried to get Ayuk. They tried to throw the bag at Godwin, and and so they ended up having to throw that bag at Diggs. To be honest, after seeing the recovery workouts, bro, I think he's gonna come back and have a pretty good season, bro. I was seeing the TikToks and shit. Like, I feel like, because I think I said in another video, that it's hard to come back from that type of injury, but
it is.
I think this Patriots team could be nice. I don't know about playoffs just yet, bro. I don't know, but playoffs may be crazy though. But
think they do. I mean, Mike Vrabel has made the playoffs every single season except one, and that was his final year at Tennessee.
The only reason why I think they could miss it is if the AFC is just like that next year. So
that's the only way.
That means the Bengals, Ravens, possibly Steelers, Bills, Chiefs, Dolphins are all like contenders.
I don't think Dolphins. I don't believe the Dolphins. I don't. I think the Dolphins.
You don't believe in
I think a healthy
the Dolphins fall apart.
I feel like a healthy Dolphins team at the worst case scenario will go like 9-8.
9-8, I agree.
Yeah,
with
Chris,
that's the worst case scenario. So I think on an average year they go like 11-6.
I don't know. I just think
it'll be a test for sure. Like against playoff teams, how you perform. The Chargers too. I forgot. Chargers, Broncos. There'll be a lot of teams there.
Yeah. So before we go that deep, if y'all had to pick one team other than the Patriots, what one team do y'all think won the draft? Very briefly.
You know, I'm gonna be biased. I think my Cowboys hit a lot. They hit on every pick. They did the needs. We got our guard. We got our next Zach Martin, hopefully. We got arguably one of the best edge rushers last year from college. He had the highest PDF ranking from all edge rushers, 16.5 sacks this year, too. Second behind Mike Green, and ACC defense player, too. And then the corner we drafted from East Carolina, he's 6'3", 6'2". Yes, he had that ACL injury he had, but he was projected first round. So, I mean, he doesn't have to hurry up. We still got Bland and Diggs also in the back end. And then you look at the running backs we drafted. We drafted 2 different running backs. Blue gives you that, what's it called, explosion that we missed from Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other one, I think Bill, he's a run over mother. I'm going to say.
You good now? You good? You good?
He hit. I mean, watching his highlights is crazy. From Clemson this past season and 2 seasons ago. And then we got a good tackle too, also from Oregon. We can do a development on him. So I think we had a really good draft hitting the needs. So
yeah, Brenden, you can talk, your shit, bro. Y'all got a bad motherfucker at running back. You can say that, bro.
I'll go lie, bro. I got Cleveland, bro.
Okay.
They had outstanding value, bro. The fact that they got Shough, like I said earlier, that's why QB won the draft. So
yeah.
You know, we had a
you and Kuiper agree.
Oh, bro.
He's still standing on business. Y'all
I'm standing on it too. The tape does not. I don't care about the interviews. The tape does not lie. So they're on QB1 to get him at the 5th round. That is insane.
Yeah, we gonna talk about that. We gonna talk about that.
That's insane value. Now the only thing I'm iffy about is why even take Dillon Gabriel. That makes no sense to me. I don't know what they're doing.
The thing is, because Dillon Gabriel, he's a backup. We know he's gonna be a
backup.
But
don't take a backup quarterback before you take the best QB. It doesn't make sense. I don't see the vision in Cleveland. If you take Shough, 5th round,
2 running backs, 2 quarterbacks. I mean,
bro, I think the Shough, bro. I think they didn't want that nigga that badly that they took Gabriel in the 3rd. Like,
yeah.
Like somebody else to get him on some, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like bro, in training camp, bro, like that's 5 QBs you got to split the rep. That doesn't make any sense. 5 QBs.
One's getting cut. One's getting cut. We know.
2 are getting cut. 2 are getting cut. Go traded. 2.
Can they free up the Watson money?
Like, no, they can't. I don't think so.
Nah, they tried already. They could do. It's cooked. But I think, bro, not even that Shough, but getting Judkins 2nd round, Mason Grant, they addressed a lot of needs. Now they had a really good draft.
I love the Graham pick, bro. I love the Graham pick.
It's a good pick for them.
If he's as good as advertised, bro, that's gonna be like he's gonna be up there as one of the best. Like,
hey, not as good as Walter Nolen, but that's a phenomenal.
You think Nolen's better?
Yes, Walter Nolen could have been a top 10 pick in the 2024 draft. I was like, come on, bro.
Last year?
Yes.
Bro, I don't know. Actually,
the same thing.
He did not have to come back.
Okay, Last year had a really weak defensive plan, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like he won it. But like the offense too was overpowered, bro. So you telling me he'll go over between Odunze?
You think he would be the first over Latu? You think he'll be the first defense player over Latu? Because Latu.
Yes. Okay. I can see that vision. I can see that he will go over.
The only reason I want to answer that like right now is because I don't know. I don't remember the combine and all the pre-draft stuff for last year's draft. But I could guarantee you though he would go in the same range that he went this year.
Yeah, I can
like
say
in last year's
the
draft.
top 20.
He
for
was
sure.
ready. He was. I feel like he was ready for the NFL last year. To be honest,
He was. That's
Yeah.
why. I mean, he went to Ole Miss. Played for another year.
Mhm.
He still went to a great team. I think the Cardinals got a good pick. The Cardinals hit on their first 3 picks. I think
yeah.
maybe first.
The Cardinals.
They had real good value, bro, all over the draft.
Yeah.
They did.
So
Johnson,
okay.
too.
So before we get into the quarterbacks, do y'all have any like one team particularly y'all think is a loser of this draft?
I think that stands out. I feel like the Lions, maybe. I think the Lions, if anything, because they drafted players good. Don't get me wrong. Williams is a great deep tackle, but they didn't need it. They need an edge rusher. They need to get an edge rusher to help Aiden Hutchinson. That's what their biggest need is. And I like the guard they got, but other than the rest of the draft, they didn't go after any players that are like insanely. They got the Boise State edge rusher. He's good, but is he an NFL? I feel like he's more of a prospect than like starter right away. So
Yeah. If I had to say one team, I'd have to say the Atlanta Falcons for sure, bro. Like, man, yes. I'm not a fan of drafting 2 players that play the same position. I know your biggest need was pass rushing and sacks, but then you go draft 2 edge rushers, basically. You go draft 2 edge rushers, basically, and then you go draft 2 safeties. It's like you just drafted the same player 4 times, in my opinion. I feel like you could have maybe traded back for a 5th rounder or a 6th rounder pick to get some of these guys to go alongside some of the same positions that you already drafted. But I love the Jalen Walker pick, but it's like you go Watts and Bowman, and then you wait to the 7th to get a tackle. I don't know. I feel like if it works out, it's gonna be great. But if it doesn't, then I don't know. But I feel like Walker is a B plus great pick. I'm not a fan of drafting 2 players who play the same position and then doing that twice.
Yeah, and also I know
I can see what you say about that,
but I have to mention the Luther Burden pick, bro. That pick,
you were waiting on that one, bro.
Bro, I was waiting. I didn't even think he was gonna get him, bro. I'm thinking he'd be like a Packer. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Luther Burden is the closest player I've seen to Jamar Chase like since he came out the draft, bro.
Wow.
They had the same frame. The route running is crazy, bro. Like you can see in the tape, bro. That's an NFL star. Receivers, listen, I saw a stat that said since 2012, receivers that recorded over 1,200 yards their freshman or sophomore year, they all ended up making a Pro Bowl their rookie year. So it was like Mike Evans, Jamar Chase, Jettis. Like it was a really good list, and Luther Burden was on that list. Yep. Luther Burden is going to be a star for years to come. The second I see the website, I see his jersey, I'm buying it. That's how invested I am on Luther Burden. I'm invested, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I feel like Luther Burden's stock maybe or whatever. I feel like he was kind of at fault because his production was down this year at Mizzou, but I feel like that had nothing to do with him. I feel like,
they made him change positions because of his quarterback. They put him the X.
Yeah. Brady Cook was phenomenal 2023 season. I don't really know what happened. I don't know.
That was a good Mizzou team. That was a really good Mizzou team.
Yeah, for sure.
They beat Ohio State in the bowl.
Yeah, I think Chicago got a steal though for sure. Did you see he posted after day 1 in the gym at like 12?
That's how you know you're a dog, bro. Like he didn't even worry about he had the lab, bro. That's how
man,
I'm be a dog, bro.
Okay, so let's talk about the huge elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks. What do we think of the quarterback controversy slash whatever you want to call it, the quarterbacks in this 2025 draft? I'm gonna start with you, Chris.
For the Giants, I understand it to an extent. Now I think Shadur's better. All right, that's without a doubt. But if you're Dayball, he did develop Josh Allen. Josh Allen wasn't considered the best prospect coming out of 2018. So I feel like if you think, okay, Jackson Dart, he has the talent, but I can make him into a responsible and effective quarterback, then I get that pick. Like you said, Taye, if you want a quarterback, make sure that's your guy and you want him to be your guy before you take him. So if you look at Dart, and you think, okay, he's gonna be the guy, and I can develop him, that's a fine pick. I'm not sure about that.
I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you too, Chris. I will say though, I applaud the New York Giants for trying to draft a black quarterback. I think they really wanted to break the streak of not drafting a black quarterback. I'd hope so.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Dable said, and this is just reports, neither of us were in the room. None of us were in the room.
Yeah.
They said they had the meeting with Sanders, and they said they didn't like his character. And it's a tough predicament to be in, but when you're choosing to trade up to draft a quarterback, you have to have full confidence in that player. So one, he can reach his fullest potential with the organization, and two, so you can have somebody in the quarterback room that you want to command your team.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at the Giants necessarily for not taking Sanders, because if you didn't want him, you shouldn't have traded up to take him. You can't do that. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in the draft rooms or the interviews or whatever, but it sounds like it had to have been something wild. But yeah, that's really my take on the Giants show. I'm gonna pass it back to you, Brenden, because I don't want to yap. I'm gonna definitely come back and talk about them because they drafted my QB. But yeah, what do you think?
I think the question is the Saints. I'm still concerned. Why? If anything, you could take any quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's 26 years old when he gets the season starts. He's played more games than half these players. Well, been in college than half these players. I mean, this pick was a useless pick. It made no point. You should have taken Shadur Sanders or anything, Jalen Milroe, or a better quarterback.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even take this quarterback who's 26 years old. This was just a waste pick, in my opinion. You're not going to build with Tyler as your future quarterback. By the time he hits his prime, he'll be age of 30. If anything,
when the Saints took Tyler, that's when I knew the Sanders situation was a lot worse than I thought. That to be fair and like pardon my French, that shit was crazy. Like, bro, there's no way you turn on no tape and say Tyler Shough is better than Shadur Sanders. Like, no shot.
Also, I think NFL teams, they view Shough as way, way, way better than the media does or the fans do. I don't know what it is on tape. Now I'm about to say,
bro, it's no tape to back that up, bro.
In hindsight, age is not, and the QB age is not as important as people say it is. Like, physical traits aren't that deep because your arm can last you years on years. Now your legs can go away, but legs weren't really his strong point anyway. It feels like Milroe is different, but I feel like we look at Burrow, right? Burrow was like 24 or 23 when he came out.
23.
Yeah, he was like 23.
Jaden was 24 last year. Jaden was 24.
So I'm saying QBs that come out when they're like older, they're more experienced, right? They are more likely to lead a team to success early on than younger quarterbacks. Who, I mean, that's cool. You learn, but either way, it's the experience, in my opinion. So I'm not really like mad. I mean, okay, I don't think Shough was top 3 QB worthy, but
no, he's not.
I would take him over like Dylan Gabriel.
I think the thing is, it's just like the team that picked him, because it's like I feel like Sanders has, I feel like he would fit so perfectly in the same system.
He would have.
And I feel like everybody feels that way. But I will say though, like, at least he did get selected, right? Not when we thought, but he got selected. So the thing is, now he has full control over what he does next. I feel like there's a lot of good guys out there, a lot of good football players who didn't even get picked. So the fact that an organization took a chance on him at that, because it's obvious he was fighting against some rigged standards, and so it's like at least he's on the team, and he gets a chance to prove everybody wrong. That's the bottom line. But it's definitely wild what they did to that man, bro. You cannot tell me he's not a top 3 quarterback in this draft. And once again, going back to the Giants situation, I'm cool with the Dart pick. You know, this is the guy that I watched all season. This past year, like, he's a baller for sure.
I think the Dart move seems smart because you got to look at the character. Shadur probably wants to start right away. You know that. Yeah. That's the type of character he is. He wants to be the quarterback of the franchise.
Yeah.
Dart, I think Dart can sit back and let Russell Wilson. We will not have conversations about Dart all season, I think it's just going to be Russell Wilson.
I do think Dart still wants to start, though. I don't think no quarterback gets drafted in his life.
He's not going to. It's going to be between – I think he'll be third man on the roster.
I do, too. I think he's not going to be I think this is a team that's just gonna. If Dart has to get in, it just means that Russell Wilson has been terrible and James Winston is terrible. That's when the result of that.
I don't even think it comes to that. I think Jackson Dart actually got the best out of this whole QB saga this year. It's like, one, you get drafted to an organization you got connections to that wants you to play for them because they traded to get in the first round at the end of the first round to get you. Right. And then two, it's like you get to one, learn behind Russell Wilson, and then you get to learn leadership and how to control a locker room like a Jameis Winston, and you get to sit for at least one season. When Jackson Dart does start, he's gonna ball out, bro. Like no questions asked. He's gonna be a phenomenal quarterback.
I see the process. I see what they took him in high school.
Malik Neighbors in year 3. Maybe they get some more receiver pieces. Like and they drafted well. If I'm being honest,
defense is set.
The defense is set. They don't need anything more. They're set on that department.
So I feel like Dart got the best. He got the good PR. You know what I mean? Hey, he got drafted. They made his pick, and hey, we heard about him, but we ain't really hear about bro for the rest of the week. So I feel like he got the least expectations going into mini camp or whatever.
No, he's fine. I think, and then the other team that drafted a quarterback, the Seahawks. I mean, getting Milroe. Don't get me wrong. Milroe has one of the highest ceilings if he does do well in the system. I just think it's a better fit than him if Shough went to Seattle, I think it would still be another team at conversational quarterback, Sam Darnold or Shough. I just think
wouldn't be Shough not starting.
You think
nobody
I thought he meant conversation as in like just media just hyping up some.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Even there, you pay Sam Darnold what, $30 million this year? Nah, bro.
3-year extension too, bro.
Yeah, 3 years.
I feel like the Steelers really dropped the ball by not going out to get that man, bro.
I think they got good value for Will Howard in the 6th round. I think Will Howard.
And this is a post I'm reading. They said several coaches and scouts have said that Jalen Milroe is the greatest runner of the football they've ever evaluated at the QB position.
That's not crazy.
He's not crazy.
Imagine him on the Steelers roster, bro.
I feel like you take away that running ability, bro, and like what's left. I feel like him as a passer is so limited, bro, compared to everybody else.
But I will say though, for the Steelers' sake, getting Will Howard in the 6th round that's good. That's as good as it gets. They probably gonna sign Rodgers too. I feel like Rodgers a week before the season started gonna be like, "Fuck it, man, let's do it. Let's do another one." Like,
screw OTAs and all that. Just go straight into train.
He can do that though. That's Aaron Rodgers.
That's why he ain't signed yet, bro. Because he chilling at his resort or whatever. Just he not trying to go to OTAs.
Yeah, you gotta be nice enough to do shit like that. Aaron Rodgers can do that shit. I promise you.
Yeah.
So who's over July,
bro? Wrapping it up though. Before we finna end right now or pretty soon, what would y'all say is y'all's favorite pick or favorite picks of the whole draft so far? Just wrapping it up, very brief here.
I believe the Travis Hunter pick is probably the best value pick in this whole draft. Getting a player that can play 2 positions, and what Chris said. I mean, you get a receiver and a corner at the same time. I just love that pick. The other pick I really love, if I had to say, Matthew Golden to the Packers. That's an insanely steal right there. Getting him. With that pick in their first receiver. And then another pick, the Bears getting Luther Burden. That's such a steal too. Getting that trio receivers, showing that offense is going to be really good under Ben Johnson, hopefully.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Travis Hunter. Yeah, Travis Hunter was a really good pick. That was an insane value, bro. You could take a first overall pick either way. You got 2 positions taken care of with Travis Hunter. So that in itself is amazing. And like I said, Luther Burden, bro, that boy going to be a star. I don't have to say nothing more. He is going to be a dog in the league. And lastly, I'll say Tyler Booker. That was a really good pick for the Cowboys. They need O-line. They might retire. Tyron Smith is gone. They need to fill the holes. And they've been doing good with the O-line picks the last decade. So I trust Jerry. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be a good pick.
Yeah, me too. To wrap it up, my 2. For the Los Angeles Chargers, I got to go Trey Harris. I feel like his injury kind of, I'm not gonna say got him off the radar of most of these teams, but I just remember so vividly how good he was with the football. Weeks 1 through it feel like 8 of our football season at Ole Miss. So I gotta say Trey Harris, 2nd round to the Chargers, I feel like is a very good pick for him. And then also, I got to go to Raiders taking Ashton Genty. I feel like he's going to come in and have immediate success, change the locker room. You get Pete Carroll, another Marshawn Lynch, another great running back to kind of mentor and show the ropes. So, yeah, those are pretty much my two picks. I'm going to stay offense. If I had to say defense, I'd say the Falcons taking Walker. I always think about that Texas-Georgia game and how he dominated and made every tackle. It felt like the first half of that game. So those are my two picks. But yeah, that's where we're gonna leave it here now. Moving on, I got an exclusive interview for y'all, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. As always, we appreciate y'all. All right, locking it in. What's going on, everybody? For the second episode of the Players Coach Podcast, I had to bring somebody on special, a true leader, a QB1, a guy who can come into any organization and make immediate change. I got my good friend Bret Kilchrist today with me. Welcome on, bro. How you feeling?
Yo, feeling great. Just got done hooping, so we're just chilling it. Hey, hopefully this podcast is lit.
Yeah, bro, for sure. I appreciate you coming on first and foremost. But let's kind of take it back to the beginning, bro. When did you start playing football first and foremost?
Yeah. Funny stories back then. When I was a baby, my grandma's funeral, I was there, and I took a football or a little ball out of my mom's bag and threw it up on the stage. And ever since then, my parents knew I was going to play football. My brother played football. My dad played football, so I just knew I needed to play football. Fell in love with it, started playing flag football around 4, and then kept on going as I continued to grow and play football. So
that's fire, bro. That's a wild story. At the funeral, you threw it up there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of going more so you said you started playing at 4 years old?
Yes.
And played throughout middle school, the whole
all throughout middle school, played little league to middle school, and then right to high school, and then college football.
That's valid. So let's kind of tone it in to your high school football journey. You said you played for a few different teams in high school?
Yeah, I played for 3 different schools. The first school I went to, I wanted better competition. Obviously, I went to a private school. Then I transferred to a 6A public school. Dealt with some politics there. Obviously, got some reps and some opportunities to prove myself, and obviously made that chance happen. But obviously, the senior year is where I actually blew up and took off.
Yeah, I feel you. Let's tone it back in on that senior year because you go to a Houston Christian, one of the most prominent, well-known private schools in the Houston area. You know, they have a 3-7 record when you get there, and you take them on to have one of their best seasons, you know, going 8-3. Kind of talk to me about that senior season, but more so making that shift to going from a team that wasn't that good in conference to really, you know, going on a run.
Yeah. Obviously, it was a challenge. Obviously, everybody had doubts. The whole school was known as a basketball school. So showing up and telling everybody we're going to change this program and we're going to flip it around. Obviously, some people's eyes were like wide-eyed. They were like, what are you talking about? You aren't going to win a single game next year. And obviously, they didn't have any big leaders. So obviously stepping in, I'm knowing they went 3-7. The couple years before, they went 1-9. They haven't had a winning season since I believe 2015 or 2014. So obviously knowing that, stepping in, I had a coach take a chance on me, Coach Eisman. He's probably one of my best mentors that I've ever stepped in life. He obviously kept me accountable, but obviously stepping in, taking those leadership qualities and applying them to everything, whether that's making sure everybody's at morning workouts, everybody's at workouts in general, making sure everybody's watching film, playing, practicing, making sure people aren't injured and just skipping reps. That's obviously huge. And it all started during the offseason whenever I transferred in January. Obviously had to step up very quick, knowing the opportunity was there. And it all started with the brotherhood and building the relationships with others and making them believe we can win.
Wow, that's a unique perspective because my senior year, we had a quarterback transfer in around that same time, second semester of the previous year, January. It's a very quick period. You have an off-season period. People are doing track, people are not in the program. Some prominent players are doing a bunch of different things. Kind of more so tone into that. Like you first day, backpack on, you the new kid. You're going in essentially and you're just being called to be this guy. Kind of how was that changing the culture? Because it's a little bit easier, I'd say, obviously senior year in that season, but that, junior year off season, that's very difficult to get some guys to buy into something that they can't see. Kind of more so speak about that transition when you first got there.
Yeah. When I first got there, obviously, there were some doubts. Stepping into the weight room, obviously stepping into new school, obviously for your senior year is pretty scary. I mean, especially not knowing anyone at the school. But had to let them buy in. They really did not believe in winning. But stepping into that weight room and seeing the kids, I saw potential. I saw that I believed in them and I knew we could make it happen. They just needed somebody who was vocal, somebody that led by example, somebody who is willing to bust their butt every single day for the whole team and prove that it's possible if we put our mind to it. And obviously, it took so long. Like, I mean, it wasn't even – the culture was great. Don't get me wrong. Coach Eisman leads a great program. Brotherhood is number one. That's literally where it all starts off, and basically building a relationship and knowing every single player personally, and obviously building those relationships. That was pretty big, and especially whenever we took a look at the season, Brotherhood played a huge part of why our success was great.
I got you, man. That's a beautiful story, and it's really good that you had a coach who was believing in you, because I know you kind of spoke briefly on the politics your junior season, splitting reps. But I know that was a big boost and a big help to you to change this program around, because you actually had, a coach that truly believed in you. But moving forward, kind of on the timeline, we're in that January, February, March area. Let's go down to, you're in Shell right before August, and then August comes. First game. Talk to me about that Lutheran South game where it feels like everything just kind of clicked. And then everything started to change, recruiting wise and all of that. Walk me through that week in that game.
Yeah. So obviously that game, first game, you got the first game jitters, butterflies running all week. You're so excited to play. I really didn't know what to expect. There were words getting thrown around the school, obviously, that I was like the savior of the program, and just stuff that obviously was boosting my confidence. But at the same time, it's like, yo, what if I don't go out there and perform? What if I don't go out there and make something happen in front of the whole school? And I mean, taking a step back, especially we're human. Obviously, you got all these things running through your brain. Obviously, I know how much work I put in. I know how to make things happen. I know how to do all this stuff, all the preparation throughout the summer, off-season training with all three of my trainers, weight room training, all the work at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night by myself, footwork, throwing the ball. I was staying up late every single night, just imagining what would happen. And it really was mentally draining that first week. And then I stepped on the field. I believe that week I watched 15 hours of film right before the game. Like throughout the week, I was balling in that aspect. And I just knew if I knew the game and I knew everybody's job, I know everybody's position, I know what the defense is going to do, we're going to make it great. So obviously that game threw for around 270 yards, if I believe, had 3 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, I think. But after that game, my recruiting took off, got offered by McMurray. I visited them that summer. So obviously they were the first school to take a chance. Shout out to Coach Bapp. He's actually at Millsaps right now. But that's my dog. But he took a chance on me. And then from there, I just felt comfortable in every other game, and just realizing that I can make it happen. But not only that, knowing that my Lord Savior Jesus Christ is definitely behind me. And I knew he had a plan for me, from the jump. And so, yeah.
Yeah, bro. And I bet it was a boost of confidence. I'm looking at it now. You went 20 for 24, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns, and then you rushed the ball 14 times for 124 yards with another touchdown. So you had 4 touchdowns and about 400 yards all purpose that first game. So man, that's great. That's great. Player of the week, Texas Private School Player of the Week as well. So yeah, you balled out that whole season too. But let's move forward. We're gonna cover a few high school games here, and then we'll go into recruiting. But talk to me about the demanding challenge it is playing a school in that season like Trinity Valley. You get the 34-32 quick win, but then you guys saw them later in the season, and it didn't really go the way you expected. Talk to me about that first Trinity Valley game, and then the second one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that game was that I had that game marked on my calendar. I knew, obviously they have a great quarterback over there, Gavin Parkhurst. He's actually at Rice University, I think, this next year. But I had that game marked on my calendar because I knew they were the best team in the conference, and I knew we had something to prove. There were just little things in that first game we played them. They just didn't expect us to be as explosive. I could tell they weren't prepared at all, and they were playing sluggish and slow. We went bombs over Baghdad. We were just throwing the ball over their heads on little pump and goes. But obviously going to a school up in Dallas and playing, especially whenever there's all this talk about Trinity Valley, all this talk about Houston Christian, and then you finally meet, we're going to see who the dogs are, and we're going to see who's going to eat. And that first game, actually, the score was a lot closer, but we were kicking their butt all game long. Like it was.
Yeah, bro. And then going into that game, you're neck and neck with DJ Lagway, a guy, we all know is at Florida right now, the future there. You have a better TD than interception ratio to him. You're more accurate than him. Like, you're going into this Trinity Valley game playing your best football, and you're starting to actually, like, nationally in Texas get recognized as one of the best gunslingers. Like, what is that feeling like? Is it more pressure? Is it more confidence?
I mean, you can go either way. I mean, the pressure of knowing that I'm one of the top quarterbacks, that obviously gives me confidence. I feel like the more pressure I have, the more confidence comes out of me because I know I'm probably one of the best gunslingers in all of Texas. And I know I got something more to prove. Obviously, I'm 5'10", not the tallest quarterback, not the biggest quarterback, don't have the eye candy, but I obviously know that I will outwork anyone and show that my consistency tops everybody else.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, most definitely. Speaking of that, kind of going back to that national stage stuff, kind of how was recruiting like? Because I know, like you said, the eye candy stuff. How was that like getting recruited? You're going on visits to Rice, you're going on visits to A&M, you're getting a bunch of D2 offers. How was handling that in the midst of a senior season that's so vital and so important? How was it dealing with that?
Yeah, I mean, the offers obviously are pretty confidence-wise. They boost your confidence in knowing that a school will take a chance on you. But obviously going on some visits to Rice, A&M, all those schools, it opens up your eyes and really shows you how Division I program is led. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play college football my whole life. So obviously taking these visits and actually stepping foot on campus, talking with the coaches and seeing that whole thing was amazing. My recruiting, I had some schools come in, check me out. Obviously don't have the eye candy, but what they loved was my leadership qualities, and they loved how much of a game changer I was and how I was a second head coach in the sense of running the program with my coach and helping him make sure everybody's at workouts, making sure everybody's working out of school, like just making sure everybody is consistent and working.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of starting to wrap up this high school kind of era. Talk to me about the state championship game run, the playoff run. It's so vigorous and so hard to win these playoff games in Texas, where it's so much pressure and it's so much bigger. I know that from my high school. Talk to me about how it was taking a team once again 3-7 the year before. How is it taking this team to believe and they instill confidence in them to not just have a good regular season, but to have an amazing postseason, to get some trophies?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, getting a team to get behind you and definitely lead them and realizing they can actually win games, because before they just had no confidence and didn't realize what can and what could happen in that sense. So obviously taking a step forward, after beating Trinity Valley that first time, in football, it's always hard to beat a team twice, especially in their hometown. So obviously playing in Funky Town was crazy. That game, we went into double overtime. Just everybody believed we would win. Everybody had faith in God that we would win. That we had this saying, crowns over trophies, because a trophy doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's really if you know who your Lord and Savior is. Taking a step in that direction is amazing, but also realizing that we can win this game and get the crown like at the same time. So obviously, we went into that game. We were winning. Some fortunate things happened. My buddy fumbled the ball. Not what we want in the fourth quarter, but they scored, tied the game up. We went into double overtime. First play, look over to my receiver, give him the little wink. He runs a go route. We score first. Then they score. Then they score again. Or then we get the ball back and just holding penalties, false start, put us behind the chains, and then we couldn't get anything popping. And then they go down and hit a field goal to win the game, which was obviously heartbreaking. After that game, I could not recover, obviously taking a step back and just realizing how much I've worked towards that certain moment and knowing that it was right in our hands and we let it go. But obviously, we could have done some things different. There could have been leadership better. There could have been certain things that whole week preparation-wise we could have been better. But obviously, God had different plans and obviously blessed me with an opportunity to go play college football after. But, some things don't work in our favor, and we got to realize that and take it as it is.
Yeah, what's really like more sort of feelings after something so heartbreaking like that? Like you said, you worked so immensely this offseason. You had a politics dealing with your junior year. You're splitting reps your junior year, knowing how vital recruiting is. Like, looking back on it in hindsight, almost a year later, how do you think that game really changed your trajectory as a player and as a leader?
Yeah, I would say it boosted my morale. Just knowing that I was able to step into a program with 3-7, and knowing that the whole school didn't want us to win. I mean, they really just did not look at us as a football high school, and taking a step in that direction, growing these relationships with these boys. I mean, it was another type of brotherhood. I would do anything for them. So just realizing that I'm playing for that brother, and I will put my life on the line for them on every single play. And it's more than just football. At the end of the day, it's life. And I mean, just knowing that you can call that brother whenever, say they're on the side of the road stuck and they need you to come help change their tire. I was there. Like, it was that type of brotherhood that it just meant more, like to the point where we're picking out captains and the captains are washing every player's feet just like Jesus did. Like, it took that type of leadership to lead a team. But obviously after that game, just the feelings and emotions were like, dang, that was my last game with my brothers. Like, I'm never going to play with these same people again. And then just taking a step back, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I'm glad we lost in a sense, because it just made it just meant more.
Yeah, I got you.
We could have got the dub, but definitely I wouldn't trade it for the world. That whole season just meant so much to me, and just it's always in the back of my mind and always will be.
Damn, man, that's a great story, bro. Well, you did end that senior season 2,637 passing yards, a 72.4% completion rating, and 31 total touchdowns. Do you feel like your stats kind of reflected and showed just how dominant of a season it was for you?
Yeah, I mean, funny story is, people don't realize this 5th game of the season, uh, I got tackled and sprained my shoulder, which obviously limited me. Those
Yeah,
first few games, I was just able to go, go, go. And then my coach kind of took a step back after he knew I sprained my shoulder and just held me back. Uh, don't get me wrong, like I was injured. I wasn't able to run the ball as much. I wasn't able to throw it as much because my shoulder was hurting so bad. But I feel like if I didn't get in, like if I didn't get a sprained shoulder, I could have thrown for 3,000 easily and probably rushed for 1,000. But obviously had different plans. Just the preparation that took in place for all that to happen, just was throughout the roof. Like I couldn't do
yeah,
that without my brothers there for me. The O line just working their butt off, watching film that we before they weren't even watching film, and then we got them watching film, and then they would start protecting me. I couldn't have done it without any of my teammates and just how they worked. They took it serious, and obviously the preparation throughout the whole summer obviously showed of how it worked for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, man. Kind of closing things in here. Let's just say a Division 1 scout walks in a room. They have no, you have no stars. It's just film and your stats. What do they walk away saying about you?
Yeah, I mean, besides the stats, obviously backing up my play and obviously the skill sets I have, I'll definitely say the leadership aspect of stepping into a program. Obviously, there's leadership wise everywhere. There's vocal leaders, there's leaders by examples. I'm everything in there. Like
Yeah,
I will speak up. I'll lead a program. I'll say stuff when it needs to be said. I'll prove that I'm gonna outwork everybody. I'm gonna be consistent. I'm gonna continue to work every single day till I give it to my all. I'm coming to practice. I'm not giving 100%. I'm giving 110%. I'm staying. I'm showing up before practice working. I'm showing up after practice working. I'm gonna continue to work no matter what. But not even that. I'm gonna keep everybody accountable and prove that I have the leadership qualities and I can lead any team that I want to.
yeah. And speaking on that, like, um, where does that sense of leadership and discipline come from? Like, you think you just have like that QB vein just in you, or like what more so is the fuel behind all of this to keep everything together, to be a leader, to be a face of a team? Like, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I would say I'm a winner. Uh, I love playing football. It's just deep down in my heart. I love winning. I mean, nobody wants to hop in a football game and go lose. You want to win.
Yeah,
It's that competitive nature in me. Obviously, uh, I've grown up as a quarterback. You got to be the leader. You have to be. All the other teammates can be leaders, but the quarterback is the main dude. Everybody's looking at him because he's calling the play. He knows this person's position. He knows that person's position. He's not even just knowing the offense. He's also knowing the defense and knowing what coverage they're going to be in, what blitzes are going to come in. But not even that. They're looking for somebody to really take a step forward and show the consistency and come to practice.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. You kind of just started lagging, but I'll kind of ask it again because it's a little part that I want to get in here.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, kind of more so wrapping up like the leadership and things like that. Um, do you feel like stuff like that has still been relevant and still never left you? Because we got writing class together now. You're in the front row of the class every single day. You're on time every day. You're there before I'm there. Do you feel like those like qualities and stuff is stuff that you just carry with you naturally now?
Yeah. I would say those qualities always stick with you. I mean, it's really consistency and just knowing how to lead. I try to inquire my leadership skills in everything, especially through football. Like Coach Dion says, not don't show up to class in slides. Don't show up with your hoodie on. that type stuff, that's what I take in a sense. And because it's all about how you prove yourself and how you show others how you act. Those leadership qualities definitely will help me, especially through real life and whenever I want to get a job, or definitely with football, taking that step forward. And those leadership qualities will continue to stick with me. And obviously want to show my kids and my kids' kids how to lead.
Yeah, man. So kind of wrapping things up here, like what's next for you, Brett? Like what's the next move? Like, do you want to continue playing football? What do you want a football coach to know and get from you?
Oh yeah. So I'm planning on I'm actually making a decision behind a couple schools to go and play football. The plan is to go in there and play quarterback, but I will help a team out with whatever I need to do. If I need to play receiver or safety, I'll definitely step foot into that. But I have the heart and determination that I got to go in there and play quarterback and change the program and hopefully bring them a couple championships. In that aspect, that's what I want to do. So yeah.
All right, man. I think that's where we're gonna close it at here, bro. Once again, my brother, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, supporting the podcast. And yeah, we definitely gonna have you on here more because I know the story isn't over yet. You know, great Christian, avid guy. You've rubbed off so many positive ways, and I know you're gonna continue to do that wherever you choose to go play football at. So once again, Bret Kilchrist, thank you, my guy. I appreciate you. And yeah, man, go tell the people to follow and subscribe to the best podcast, bro.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Y'all drop a like, keep on sharing this. Everybody subscribe, follow the podcast because they got some big plans coming. Best believe y'all already know about us.
Yeah, man. All right, bro. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.